Us. Big story that we were covering yesterday here on Newsroom Live was, of course, the murder of iconic director Rob Reiner and his wife. As we were live on the air yesterday, we did get word live right here on Newsroom Live that his son had been taken into custody and arrested, which was something that people were expecting to happen.
Right.
And we started to sort of get just the first little bits of information. There were some reports that were coming out about, how this may have happened. Maybe there was a party that happened the night before where there was an argument between them. So Briella Tomassetti, you've been tracking this all morning. What do you got on this?
Yeah, well, we had wrapped up our time on air yesterday speaking a little bit about Nick and Rob's relationship and how it was a little bit tumultuous, and he did have a history of drug addiction.
Right.
They did a semi-autobiographical film about it in 2016 called Being Charlie.
Yeah.
So they were very on the record about that rocky relationship and about the struggles. I know Nick Reiner had mentioned in previous interviews that he had spent time homeless out on the streets away from his family. And he was trying
right
to,
there. That's him right there, right on the
And he
right.
looks drastically different in more recent photos that we've obtained.
A little more heavier set, right? And he's got a shaved head.
Yeah, he's got a beard. He looks a lot more grungy.
Right.
So I did want to also add that he is expected to appear in court possibly today. Now, we know that this could happen as 8:30 in Los Angeles, so that means around 11:30 our time. It's about 10:15 now, but the deadline for the DA to file charges is tomorrow, so I have a feeling press is going to be hanging out there.
Because he's in custody.
Correct.
They can only hold him for so long before you file those charges, which is, I'm not sure if that's the same as it is here, or if it's a federal guideline, or if it's just the sort of statutes that are there in the California, Los Angeles area. So just to kind of hit the timeline here, Sunday afternoon is when the bodies are found. And
around 3:30 they get the
around
call.
3:30, and so our understanding is that it was the daughter who discovered the bodies.
I believe, I'm not sure if it was TMZ or there's some publications reporting that the Reiners did not answer the door for a masseuse.
Okay.
And she found that strange. Her daughter, ultimately, she got that gut instinct, something's not right. Went to the home and found the bodies.
She finds the bodies, and according to some of that reporting, she kind of indicated, you need to take a look at my brother. He's been acting erratically. There's been sort of some possibilities of violence, and we're a little worried about whatever's happening with this.
Right.
And it was interesting because when they had their news conference early on, they said, we're not searching for any suspects. Almost as if to say, we kind of know who we're looking for.
Right, don't be worried, don't be alarmed, everybody. You're going to be safe in this neighborhood.
This is not someone who's out here, this was a this was a targeted attack, not a robbery or something like that. And then so within about 6 hours of that, some of that information yesterday morning, we get the arrest.
You do.
And you saw some pictures earlier of the LAPD gang unit. What did you see? What do we see with that?
This
those
is
pictures?
quite interesting because these photos went up on the LAPD, I think, gang homicide unit, their Instagram page.
Right.
And were taken down shortly afterwards.
I was going to ask you, why don't we have those? But they were taken down, right?
They were taken down. So did somebody jump the gun on this, post pictures? Now, I know the caption said something along the lines of, this is a double...
Again, right? LAPD, GMD. Yeah,
nothing on there, right?
Still not on there. No,
it's crazy. So I think it was the New York Post and other publications cited where they got it from.
Because it was up for a little while, you snapped it, and then they took
You
it
go
off.
on the account, and it's not there anymore. But the caption had said something along the lines of, this is a double homicide suspect. Did not say Nick Reiner.
Okay.
Which is why some may say, is it too early to speculate? Is it most likely him? Probably. And these are alarming photos. He's being taken down and pushed against the back of a cop car.
Kind of the way a SWAT team would move in, kind of thing.
Yes, you got a lot of cops there.
And so, and then just so as we continue with the timeline, if we look a little bit before what had happened, it's the holiday season, and it sounds like there was a Christmas party where they were at Conan O'Brien's house.
Right.
So here we have this iconic director, a part of so many great movies, sort of has mixed and mingled with celebrities for the last 50 years. So we're getting more celebrities involved in this, not necessarily involved in the crime, but just in the story itself. So here you have Conan O'Brien, who's hosting a Christmas party. The Reiners are guests, Rob Reiner and his wife, and somehow, some way, the son is there. Nick Reiner.
I believe they bring their son. And
okay, he's with them.
No, take note, this is a black tie event. Everybody is very dressed up. Nick allegedly shows up in a hoodie.
Okay.
Is kind of distant. He kind of lingers on the outskirts, very socially awkward. Was he possibly abusing a substance at the time? Was he high? Of course, that's all speculation, but we do have the executive producer from TMZ that kind of walks us through this scenario and what happened that led up to this argument.
Okay, let's take a listen to that.
If there's anything that you could say that would point to this, it's true. That's a fact that he has, for more than half of his life now, since he was 15 years old, he has battled substance abuse issues. He has dealt with, related to the substance abuse issues, homelessness over the years. And they certainly had a rocky relationship, as many people who are dealing with a family member with addiction have gone through. But I don't think there's anything to suggest that this would have happened. I will say this, on Saturday night, Conan O'Brien has a holiday party every year, and it's a nice, fun event, and people will dress up in, suits and dresses, and Rob Reiner, Michele attended, and they also attended with Nick. Now, people at the party said that Nick looked out of place. He didn't have nice clothes on. Instead, he had a hoodie on, hood up, and he just looked like something was off. And to that point, at the party, we have been told Rob and Nick had a blowout argument where they were screaming at one another, and it was so bad that Rob and Michele actually chose to leave the party. Unclear if Nick did, but they left. And then for matter of hours later, less than 12 hours later, to be found deceased, it's just unthinkable.
Unthinkable. And it's interesting, kind of some of that information there. If there was this argument and then there was this crime, it sort of gets into some of the details of what he may be charged with, because maybe there's a premeditation thing there. You have an argument, you say, I'm going to go and do whatever I'm going to do, and then that's what happened, as opposed to an in-the-moment crime of passion kind of situation. And so I know that you are also tracking what's going to happen next.
Right, the courthouse.
And so in custody, potentially charges are going to be filed. Let's say charges are filed, whatever they may be.
Right.
What's going to happen after that?
Yeah, you have possibly, he's definitely going to be read those charges. Is it first degree, second degree murder? I mean, I doubt we're getting manslaughter for something like this, because
the serious nature of the crime, right?
Correct. And a double homicide. They can also be, I believe, there was something about, I don't know, there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot. So he can enter a plea, right? That could happen today, tomorrow, or at a later date.
So the charges will be read. You don't necessarily have to enter a plea. My understanding is if they ask for no bail, then they have to kind of give a reason why.
They've got to give a reason, lay it out to the judge. That's where we can see possibly in, the indictment, the information, whatever the court documents are.
Yeah.
What led up to this. I know that several publications were writing that he was found at a hotel in Santa Monica with blood all over with the bed and the bathroom.
This is a suspect found that way, right? Yeah.
Correct. So that could also be part of those documents and part of the reason why they're saying this guy is a clear and present danger. Again, first-degree murder would require that premeditation, or did this happen more spontaneously in a fit of rage? That would be more along the lines of second-degree murder. But either way, you're looking at prosecutors likely pursuing life in prison.
Could be one way or
maybe
the
the
other.
death penalty.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break here in a second, but just wanted to touch base because for so many people, Rob Reiner and his films mean so many different things. Whether it's something like A Few Good Men, the Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, or if it's Stand By Me with River Phoenix and sort of this coming of age story, which for me was a very influential movie when I grew up. And then, of course, for a lot of people, it's the kind of one of the original rom-coms, which is Harry Met Sally, which does have a very significant New York connection.
New York connection, and connection specifically to Rob Reiner's life. He met his wife on set. She was a photographer. They married in 1989. But you have all of these tributes, right, pouring in from fans, from actors, friends, even politicians. The Obamas were supposed to meet him that night, him and his wife, and they tragically passed. But you have a story from Katz's Deli.
Katz's Deli, okay, yeah.
Famous. I mean, if you're a New Yorker, you know it. He's from the Bronx. They not only filmed a scene of the movie there, if you remember that, but he was a regular. That's what the owner says.
So let's take a listen. I think we have that.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner was a creative genius who really we loved here. He would come in all the time, and every time he was in New York, he would come in. And for Rob, part of the appeal of this place was the organized chaos. He loved the commotion here and the craziness.
Yeah, organized chaos. It's so funny. If you've been to Cat's Deli, it's kind of like it doesn't look like this sort of beautiful New York place. It still is like this kind of vintage, iconic.
Boom, ring the bell, in and out.
Yeah. Kind of still has that feel. Such a beautiful spot there. All right. Anything else we should know, Briella?
Just got to look for, we got to see when the timing of this court appearance, when that happens, and I think this may take longer than people initially, think it's going to happen.
Right.
When the door opens, they're going to get him in and out. He's going to be taken from where he's being held. I think it's Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles.
To the courthouse or something like that?
To the courthouse,
Okay,
and this
so
is
there
not
may be
going to
some
happen
video.
in front of press. I think they're going to try to do this.
No, you don't think so? Sometimes they do.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe.
see. We'll see. It's 10:24 right now, which means it's 7:24 out there, 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to happen in terms of some of that stuff for another couple hours. So, Briella, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.